If you're a Christian, stand up. And that's what a gunman said to his victims yesterday. And if you stood up, he shot and killed you.
Well, today, that Oregon community is in mourning as authorities are trying to figure out more about the killer and why he did it. George Thomas has the story.
The reported gunman left an extensive digital footprint on blog sites and other online forums. This is Chris Harper Mercer's profile picture, taken from his MySpace account holding a gun. On one internet site called Spiritual Passions, he described himself as not religious, but spiritual. He didn't like organized religion and said, "I'm looking for someone to share my beliefs." He used similar language when he said online that he was looking for a woman who was pagan, Wiccan, not religious, but spiritual. The father of a wounded victim told CNN that Mercer reportedly ordered students to stand up and asked if they were Christians. And they would stand up, and he said, "Good, because you're a Christian, you're going to see God in just about 1 second." And then he shot and killed them.
We've got multiple gunshot wounds.
The rampage started late Thursday morning.
I hear screaming after that first gunshot.
In the small town of Roseburg, some 3 hours south of Portland, Oregon.
A lot of my classmates were just going every which way.
Students trying to take cover and hide.
We heard shots and immediately took cover, went down and heard just multiple shots, a lot of screaming.
Officers on the scene confronted the 26-year-old shooter.
Officers engaged that suspect. There was an exchange of gunfire.
Mercer was shot dead, but not before he murdered 9 victims, 10 including himself. 4 weapons were recovered from the scene.
This doesn't happen in Roseburg. This is small town America. It's not supposed to happen here, but it happens.
Well, our hearts go out to the survivors and to the families of these victims. What an incredible tragedy. And you just don't have words for it. And you wonder, are we just sheep given up for the slaughter? Has God removed that which restrains from our culture? That verse keeps running through my head, that there will be a day where he removes that which restrains. And are we living in that day today?
This is the moment that transgender teenager Corey received a very special present.
Do you know what that is? Do you know what that is?
What is it? Come on, what'd you do this time?
Just reach behind the pillow.
14-year-old Corey, who was born a boy, has been referring to herself as a girl for the last 5 years. She also has a puberty-suppressing implant. She has been waiting 2.5 years to receive her first hormone dose, and her mum managed to capture her emotional reaction on video.
Do you know what that is? Do you know what that is?
What is it?
We're now to that showdown on Capitol Hill today. The head of Planned Parenthood facing questions for hours. Thrilled by lawmakers after those undercover videos recorded by anti-abortion activists of Planned Parenthood employees. It's been a flashpoint in the race for president. Carly Fiorina describing a gruesome video she watched herself. So tonight, how does Planned Parenthood explain those videos? And a reality check on the scene Fiorina described. Do we know where that video, where that audio is from?
The head of Planned Parenthood, now target number 1 for Republicans, endured a 5-hour interrogation today on Capitol Hill.
Do you profit or make money on abortion services?
There's potentially 4 federal crimes, and all I'm asking is, has the Justice Department contacted you?
Republicans want to cut off all government funding of Planned Parenthood in the wake of a series of controversial undercover videos this summer from anti-abortion activists. Those videos claim to show Planned Parenthood officials discussing the sale of aborted fetal tissue. Today, Planned Parenthood President Cecile Richards called claims the group sells fetal tissue false.
The outrageous accusations leveled against Planned Parenthood based on heavily doctored videos are offensive and categorically untrue.
The Republican campaign against Planned Parenthood hit an emotional high point with Carly Fiorina in the last Republican debate.
Watch these tapes. Watch a fully formed fetus on the table, its heart beating, its legs kicking, while someone says we have to keep it alive to harvest its brain. This is about the character of our nation.
Planned Parenthood has accused Fiorina of lying about the video. The anti-abortion group video does include a scene like Fiorina described, although the audio is edited from a different event. And today the group that made the video would not tell ABC News whether the fetus shown was actually from a Planned Parenthood facility. As for Planned Parenthood's funding, it receives $528 million annually in government money, which supports services like cancer screenings, treatment of STDs, and birth control. The group also performs abortions, but by law, none of the federal money it receives can go to abortion.
In a new Pew poll, voters by a 2-to-1 margin say they favored continued public funding of Planned Parenthood. But David, a strong majority of Republican voters say they want to see the funding eliminated.
It's disturbing video that is upsetting to a lot of people. A daycare worker caught on cell phone video violently shaking a baby at the Eastern Child Development Center. Police charge Ariadnes Armas with 1 count of child abuse. She bonded out of jail and faced a judge today for the first time. She had nothing to say in court and nothing to say to us either. And now we've learned this is not the only time Armas mistreated babies on the job. The daycare owner says she gave police 2 more equally disturbing cell phone videos.
Chick-fil-A opened in New York City Saturday. Some customers camped out overnight to be the first in line to make an order. But not everyone shared their enthusiasm. Vegan, gay, and transgender rights activists staged a demonstration to protest the chain for its Christian values and its belief in traditional marriage. Chick-fil-A's New York location is its largest restaurant to date. California is now the 5th state in the U.S. to legalize assisted suicide. Monday, Governor Jerry Brown signed a bill allowing terminally ill patients to legally end their lives using doctor-prescribed drugs. The bill includes requirements the patient be capable of taking the medication themselves and that 2 doctors approve it. But opponents say the bill legalizes premature suicide.
People should know that where assisted suicide is legal, some people's lives will be lost without their consent through mistakes and abuse. No safeguards have ever been enacted or even proposed that can prevent that outcome, which can never be undone.
At least 24 other states have introduced right-to-die legislation this year, but the measures have not been approved.
Avielle Wakefield, just 5 months old, was sitting in her car seat riding with family in Cleveland when the shots rang out.
I need the police. I need an ambulance. Somebody was shooting at our car. They done shot the baby.
The family frantically dialing 911.
See if she breathing. No. They shot the baby. The baby dead.
I picked her up and she was gasping for her life. It just hurts.
Avielle, born April 12th, fatally shot in the crossfire of unknown thugs October 1st. Even the police chief left in tears.
It's tough. This should not be happening in our city.
She was the 3rd child under age 6 fatally shot in Cleveland in roughly a month. The city's murder rate jumping 27% above last year. Major cities like Baltimore, Houston, Washington, D.C., and Dallas all experiencing double-digit spikes in homicide this year. Much of it blamed on the surge in the number of violent gangs in this country. Gangs often involved in turf wars, sometimes killing innocents. Innocents like 5-month-old Avielle.